Hi, I'm Mike from Craft Supplies USA, and today we're going to take a look at our ceramic ring cores. Ceramic rings are highly polished and incredibly durable. They come in white and black and are available in both standard ring core and inlay ring core types. These rings have quickly become a favorite here at Craft Supplies for several reasons. Number one, they look amazing. Both the black and white offer endless variations that aren't available in other materials. Both colors create striking combinations with a lot of blanks, but the real difference here is seen with an acrylic blank. Both of these rings were turned with the same blank, a moissanite diamond cast. The end results are drastically different because the white reflects a lot of light where the black soaks it up. The same goes for any acrylic. The white really lights up the blank and gives it a completely different look than the black, and it's been a ton of fun experimenting with different cores and blanks. Number two, they feel amazing. The ceramic is smooth and silky. The interior rounded profile makes it very comfortable to wear. They also are much lighter, with some of them weighing in at half the weight of a stainless steel ring of the same size. And number three, they're virtually indestructible. These aren't the same ceramics you get when you buy a coffee mug. These ceramics are made with a special process that makes them nearly impossible to break. To show how durable they are, let's do a drop test on this concrete floor. See, there's not even a mark or a scratch. Aside from intentionally breaking these, you're not going to have any issues. And it won't scratch, no matter what turning tool you're using, even with a carbide cutter. The ceramic will look just as polished and new as it was when you started. The good news is both the comfort ring core and the inlay ring core turn exactly the same as our other cores. So if you're familiar with turning a ring, then you'll feel right at home. Now that we've seen what makes the ceramic ring cores special, let's go to the lathe and we'll turn one of each. Let's start by turning a comfort ring core. I'll be turning my ring out of a piece of diamond cast. Before turning our ring, we need a flat reference face on the blank. Lay some 120 grit sandpaper on a flat surface and satin one side of the blank flat. Next, mount a waste block in your chuck and use a skew to true the face. This will be our jig for drilling and rough turning the core. Mount your blank on the waste block turn the lathe on to about 500 RPM and drill a pilot hole completely through the ring blank. You'll know you're through when the shavings turn to the color of your waste block. Now it's time to open up the hole for the core to fit snugly. We're going to use a ring boring head. Adjust the cutter so it'll take about a 1/16 of an inch pass and bore completely through the blank by advancing the tailstock. Stop advancing when you feel the cutter hit the double-sided tape and back out the cutter head. Use the dial to move the cutter head a little further and repeat the process. Repeat this process and keep removing small amounts of blank material and test the fit frequently until the ring core fits. Once the hole is properly sized, press the ring core into the hole until it is flush with the waste block. Next, use a skew to turn down the side of the blank until it is just a hair wider than the ring core. Don't worry about scratching your core. The ceramic is tougher than any tool you've got. After turning, carefully peel the blank from the waste block. I'll keep the core in for support during this process. Now we're ready to glue the core into the blank. These ceramics are so highly polished that glue has a hard time sticking to it, so we'll need to scuff up the surface. But the ceramic is harder than your sandpaper and tools, so it has to be done with something incredibly hard. Mount the ring on the ring turning chuck. Hold the diamond dresser flat against the face of the ring and lightly score the surface. Grab a clean rag and some solvent and wipe down the core and the ring blank. This will ensure a proper bond between the two materials. Now apply CA glue or epoxy to the inside of the blank and spread it around evenly. Applying it to the blank and not the core gives the blank a chance to absorb some of the glue before the core scrapes most of it out. Lay the blank flat and insert the core until it is flush. Use a paper towel or wax paper to prevent the blank from being glued to your table. Once the glue is cured, mount the blank on a ring turning chuck between the appropriate bushings. Place a 60-degree cone center in your tailstock and bring it in until it fits in the dimple on the chuck. Now we can turn the ring to size. I prefer using a spindle gouge for the first rough cuts, and then I'll switch to a negative rake scraper because it's easy to control. Whatever tool you use, just remember that the blank is thin and delicate, so take light cuts. Once it's turned to your rough shape, sand the blank through at least 400 grit and your final profile. Once I've hit 400 grit with my sheet abrasive, I'm going to switch to Merlon non-woven abrasive and sand up to 2500. Now, I'll use scratch free to refine the surface. To get a final polish on the blank, I'll use Micro Magic polishing waxes. Start with the red jar and apply a fair amount to the ring with a clean rag. Use moderate pressure and polish the ring. Use a clean bit of paper towel to clean off the polish. Repeat the steps with the white polish, and then the blue. Didn't help it was slippery though. The ring is now done and looks amazing. Inlay ring cores don't require a ring blank. They come with a channel pre-machined into the core and are easy to make. We'll start by mounting the ring chuck on the lathe. Place the ring core between the appropriate bushings and tighten the knurled nut. Apply some solvent to a clean rag and wipe down the channel of the ring core to remove any dust or oil from your hands. Before adding any inlay, I'm going to apply a very thin coat of CA glue to the inside of the channel as a base coat. Now we're ready to add the opal. Pour a small pile on top of the ring core. Once you have a small pile, secure it with a drop of thin CA glue and spray it with a little bit of activator. Rotate the ring and add another pile. Then more CA glue and activator. The goal here is to create a layer with no gaps where the bottom of the channel is visible. Keep rotating the ring and repeat this process until the entire channel is filled with opal. Once your base layer is done, go back and fill in any low spots until you have a consistent layer. Once the channel is filled with opal, there's no room for a good CA finish. We'll use an easy wood tool to cut back the opal and give us room to build up a nice even CA finish. Turn the tool over roughly 45 degrees and use the point of the tool to cut from the center of the channel to the side. Then rotate the tool to the left 45 degrees from center and do the exact same thing. These are very light cuts meant to remove just enough opal to make room for CA. And with a ceramic ring core, you can run the carbide all the way against the wall of the channel without worrying about scratching it. Once the channel has been reduced, make sure you didn't chip out any of the opal, leaving a low spot in your layer. If there are any gaps, fill them with opal. Add one final layer of thin CA and spray with activator to seal the opal. Once that layer is cured, continue building up your CA finish with either thin or thick until it is level with the surface of the core. Use the activator sparingly. Too much can leave bubbles on the surface of your CA that will force you to turn it away and start the process over. Make sure you give it ample time to cure before adding another layer. Turn off the lathe and inspect the ring. You're likely to have a few pits in the glue, and simply add CA as necessary to the low spots. Once the glue is cured, turn the lathe back on and level off the CA until it's even with the ring core. After turning, the CA will appear dull. Any shiny spots are low areas that need to be filled in with more CA. Once you've filled any low areas, use your tool to level off the CA finish again, and now it's time to sand. Because the surface is so smooth, I'll start sanding with 400 grit, and I'll stop the lathe after I'm done with 400 and sand laterally to remove any radial marks. I'll follow the same polishing steps that we used earlier. First the Merlon non-woven scuff pads, then the scratch free, and then the Micro Magic. Now that your ring is complete, remove it from the lathe and take a look. Ceramic rings are incredibly durable, feel great, and most importantly, they look amazing. With 2 colors of ceramic cores to choose from, the options are endless. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more wood turning videos. And if you like the apparel I'm wearing today, it's available in the description below.